This is Slime Rancher 2. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So what are we getting here in this delightfully lovely and charming sequel? Well, it notes that it's supposed to be pushing towards a 4K resolution, but I really don't think it's anywhere close to that, because it is quite jagged around a lot of the edges in the world. We're getting something, I think, a little bit higher than like 1080p, but it's certainly not at that level of 4K. It's also screen tears quite a bit. That being said, you can fix that up by going into the settings. I'm just trying to collect the last little plort there. You can go into the settings and you can enable the VSync, but we're just going to let it run as is. There's also a field of view option and an overscan adjustment if you need it, and you can adjust things like the bloom or the chromatic aberration or the depth of field quality if you'd like to. And there's some other little input settings that you can adjust, key binding stuff, and it's 60 FPS plus. So I should also mention that this is an Xbox game preview title, so that it is going to change over time. They are going to work on it, they are going to update it. So, you know, by the time they're done with this, it very much could be running a lot smoother, it could be looking, you know, visually a lot crisper and clean. But I really do like how this looks. At the same time, it is like a little bit, I don't know, like almost slightly faded in the visual aesthetic style. And I think it's definitely, to me, this is something that I think is on brand with the first Slime Rancher. I think it's actually an improvement in a lot of different ways. And at the same time, it's also kind of very similar to Overwatch, or to Slime Rancher 1. You know what I mean? It definitely has that same sort of visual style, that same sort of gameplay. It's actually been almost frustrating for me restarting, essentially, because I'm so used to having all of my stuff set up, having all of these things built, having all of these cages, having all of these slimes. And then to kind of like go back, it's just, you know what I mean? It's definitely a bit slower for me. It's a bit odd. Because I am used to it moving, you know, just having everything ready. So if you're coming from Slime Rancher 1, I think you might literally notice that you're kind of feeling as though at times you're starting from scratch. Or, well, you basically are. You are starting from scratch. And that might be a bit weird for some players that are used to just having everything ready, right? It can definitely throw you off gameplay-wise if you are used to a certain style of gameplay, and then it's like, whoa, we're kind of starting back from basics. But you don't need to have played the first Slime Rancher to play this one. You can jump in fresh. And it is actually a really lovely and enjoyable game. I mean, look at these adorable things that you're feeding and then basically selling their poop at the market for points. There's lots of different adventure zones. So back here, these areas are all different spots that you can kind of get enough coins to buy into and go off and explore. And there's other hidden secrets too. The game is just absolutely stuffed with things to find and discover and challenges to unlock, and it's really, really quite a lovely game. You know, the music's soft and majestic, you get to visit all of these crazy places, you get to really kind of, you know, live the life of a slime rancher. It's a quirky concept, it's a fun one. I really, really like this franchise. I think it's really, really cool. I've, you know, thoroughly enjoyed playing it, you know, since that first release. It's a really, really good time killer. You can sit here and you can just spend, in my opinion, countless hours working away at trying to get, you know, all the slimes, figure out the mystery. And that first game actually had a really lovely sense of mystery to it as well. And a really charming story, because there's like, you would get letters, and it would be this like romance story in the backdrop, or how our main character here kind of left a romance behind so far off into the distance in order to do, you know, something that she felt was right. And I think that in itself is kind of like, almost a little sad, but at the same time, you know, kind of a lovely little tale. And that's just in the background. And then there's like the credits where they play like, I think it's like 1,000 miles away or something. It's a really, really beautiful sort of like song, if that makes sense. It's a good cap off to that game. And then you come here and it's just like a really nice continuation. And yeah, you know what? They've got some work to do. They've got some content to add. But you know, after having followed Slime Rancher 1's development, I think, you know, the end result here is going to be really, really nice. Because I think Slime Rancher is a cool franchise. I think it's a lovely time. And I mean, there's so many, like, weird, quirky things that can go on in different mysterious places you can end up going to. And I think that's half the appeal, is just the craziness of where eventually you could end up going with your work. Okay, I'm trying to find the spot where you go off and you go and get these, like, steel or cave-type critters and whatnot. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to feed the slimes, because they get really restless, and you can improve your stuff, so you get things that, like, high walls, music boxes, air nets to, like, stop them. You get, like, plort collectors, auto feeders, you know, stuff like that. Basically allows you to more easily manage your slimes, because they need to eat, otherwise they get restless and they run away. And you know, you need to collect your plorts to get your money, and you gotta get your trees to harvest things. So it's basically, you know, just a farming game, but with the concept of you farming, you know, these slimes. You farm them by feeding them and then collecting their poop in order to sell it. That's really the base of the game. I mean, obviously, I think it goes a lot more in depth, especially as you continue to play. But, you know, that's the core of the game, is sort of dealing with that cycle of, you know, activities and what your goals are. Oh, no, I needed that stuff to upgrade my weapon. That's why I was collecting those. Ugh. Eye roll on that one. Just gonna shoot that carrot in there. Don't worry, we've got some more of them. I think it was 10 I needed. Let's go down and see if we can do that upgrade. And then you can change the time of day too. You can sleep and get to different points if you need to. I'm not necessarily feeling that ambitious. Let's see if we can get the upgrade. Harvest. Cotton plorts. Isn't that literally what I collected? Don't I have cotton plorts? 10 cotton plorts. Yeah. Resource harvester. Do I have to, like, put this in somewhere? Ah, there we go. Adds a resonator to suck, so that'll allow me to do more stuff. I kind of want more power, though, and movement. Okay, we'll just do this. Now I'm even more powerful than you could ever imagine. But you can see that you get, like, these upgrades. A jetpack. Oh, that'd be fun. And it's basically about going around, gathering these resources, gathering these improvements, and making yourself more capable of taking care of the slimes, if that makes sense. More set up for it. And then, obviously, as you expand your empire, these things are out here, like, destroying everything. You just become the ultimate slime collector, and I think they've really just, to me, done a pretty good job on this one. I'm quite happy that we've got a new Slime Rancher, because the moment they announced it, I was like, oh, yes. I was kind of hoping that it would be a full release, though. To me, that's a little like, huh, okay, because it, you know, they announced it so long ago that I was expecting a full release, but I think the game preview way to go about it is actually pretty good for them, and I think long-term it's going to work out, because the first game did a similar thing where it was, you know, an early access, and the end product is really, really good. I do hope that this ends up a little bit more optimized, though, if that makes sense, because, yeah, I do definitely think the first one still, even with the extra overhead power, could use a little bit smoother performance. It is a lot better, but yeah, it's still like, leaves a little bit to desire, at least for the first game. But I would say, you know, they've put together a good setup here. I think it's fun. I think it's still enjoyable. It's got that heart and soul that I loved from that first game ever so much. And it's just charming and relaxing. And you know, there's some danger to it. There are some monster type things you gotta deal with. You gotta feed certain slimes. You gotta learn all the lingo of what you're doing. For those coming back, it's gonna be a little exhausting having to like redo things. But I think ultimately, you're probably going to have a fun time playing this game. Or you're going to have a relaxing time playing this game. Or you're going to find it delightfully charming or weird or quirky. And I think a lot of people will just have fun with it. That's the biggest thing. You'll jump in here and you'll be like, oh, this is adorable. This is charming. This is an easygoing thing. This is something I want to sit here and play a lot of. Because you really can, if you wanted to, just absolutely waste away your hours playing this. And seeing what it has to offer as you explore new territories, new lands. Figure out the hidden secrets. And hopefully they continue to add content to make this even larger in scale. But I'd say for now I'm fairly pleased with it. I'm having a good time sitting here rediscovering the magic of Slime Rancher. Trying to build up my pens. See, again, that part for me is just like, ugh, like, it's such a slow burn at the start as you try to get enough resources to be able to do things. And I know other slime returning people will be like feeling the same. It's just kind of funny to think about. I don't want that kind of stuff. I want to get a lot of these rock slimes because their poop is worth so much. Literally, like, poop collectors. And don't jump off the ledge, guys. You lose your stuff, which is a pain. And then there's, like, hybrid style of the slimes, too. They can get, like, hybridized, and that can get you more value. These are the bad things. That's what I was talking about, the tar slimes. They're the bad guys. Nobody wants to deal with them. They'll attack all your stuff. So you gotta actually be pretty strategic in how you build things, and you gotta be able to fend stuff off. It's not like you're doing, like, intense wave-based survival or anything, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, there is a layering of, it's not just, like, easy, smooth sailing. You actually have to work pretty hard to do this stuff. You eat meat, so you gotta collect. See, these big things, you basically, oh, that thing's angry. You basically gotta collect, like, the food, and then you can feed it, and then it'll open up new areas. That's how I got to this spot, was feeding the one big fat, I think it was like a cat or something. Wasn't there literally chickens around here like 2 seconds ago? Chickens all get eaten. The chickens all got eaten. So I was like, oh, I'll go feed some of this a little bit, but yeah, not happening. Ah, it's so nice to be back here. And they've added, you know, some little stuff here or there. You know what I mean? Like, they've changed it up a bit. If there's only one chicken, I'm not going to, like, bother bringing it back there. So we see a whole lot of them. And I think the new slime additions are fun. Oh, the honey slimes! Yes! Sorry, I'm so excited to get these things. Oh, the cabbages. I'm just taking this all in. There's a lot of, like, stuff to this, right? Like, the games. And there's some slimes that have to be, like, certain times of the day are good for them. Oh, you became a big fat cat thing? Oh. No, I need the regular honey slimes. That way I can make money off of them. Don't let the crazy cat or bunny things get them. See, some of the slimes eat other slimes. It's a real pain. We came that way. We need to keep going this way. Oh no, not these things. It's so annoying. But yeah, it's just fun, and it's just charming. And just lovely. It really is. It's just one of those really lovely, full of heart little franchise games that I think you can, like, really be blown away by. And there's so many little hidden layers on this one that you can do. Because it's just kind of building off of, you know, the mechanics and stuff of the first game. And you would be genuinely surprised. I think I'm going to go off this way and take a look at this. You'd be genuinely surprised at some of, like, the hidden things you have to do in this. Like, you know, in the first game, there's this whole, like, key system where you basically had to figure out how to get these certain slimes, to get these certain key things, to go to these certain areas to open up this area and get, like, this new type of fruit thing. And, you know, it just gets more complex with the more areas you open up and the more things you see. Because obviously there's this whole area over there that we can't even get to at this point. And then there's other areas like this. Like, this is an unlockable spot. There's also all these areas where you basically have to, like, you know, spend coins to get into these new adventure spots. Okay, that is a map revealer, and I don't know how you get up there. I'm going to take a look around up here and see if we can actually do that, because that's going to reveal the whole map for us, which would be super helpful, which I don't think we can actually get to. That would be up there. Oh, there's the honey stuff. that would go up there and go around. I don't know if we can get to there from this point. I think you'd have to unlock some other stuff. So we're going to keep exploring, but I'm going to keep a hesitant mind that that is where the map reveal is. Because the map reveal, obviously, you know, if you can see where you're going, what you're doing is super, super helpful. And I know this is a bit casual, but that's basically what we're doing at this point, because it is game preview. So it's just going to be like literally, you know, this could be wildly different by the time you jump in and take a look at this, or, you know, hear my thoughts on it. They could have added so many new things. An angler slime? Oh. Well, that's different. I wonder how you keep a hold of those things. Very, very interesting. And you gotta collect enough of them so that you can, like, you know, make money off of them when you're back home. Otherwise, you gotta keep coming out here and collecting them over and over again. Seems like there's a lot of these things. Probably need some kind of distinct special habitat or something like that. There's a hen there. They eat all kinds of things, these guys. Ah, like, everything seems so, like, happy. And I think that's nice. It's nice to have a happy game. And you can't forget the more slimes you have, the more you gotta, like, set everything up to take care of them. Didn't get a lot of the honey, or, well, we got a decent amount of the rock. I think this is more than a fine addition to my, like, collection of slimes. I was wondering if this, like, wraps back around. Oh, look, they're all coming out of the slime stuff. Oh, I gotta get eaten and stuff like that. So many surprise areas. Ow, I actually got attacked a bit. Like, just look how ridiculously expansive this is. And we're like just, I feel like I'm just touching the surface of this game. I really do. It's actually a terrifying thought that there's going to be that much behind this one. A sea hen. That's a new one. You have to create, like, a food farm for these things to kind of grow. That's another, that's, like, usually I never actually, like, grab these things, if that makes sense, like the meat stuff, because they literally, like, everything breaks out of its cages to go and eat them. It's such an annoyance to try to, like, hold on to them, if that makes sense. Like, it literally is an absolute pain, because you gotta have the hen cages, and then it's gotta make sure nothing gets in there. And that's a full-time job in itself. Oh. Can we not access the exit from over here? Oh, I was really hoping this would wrap around. Because that's a painful walk back, that's what that is. I mean, we're obviously going to have to do it, but usually it's a little bit better when it circles back. See, that's you use a gemstone thing in there, that's the whole thing. Oh, it does circle around. Awesome. A cheerful statue. Absolutely lovely. Aww. Wait, does this just fast travel you back and forth between these areas? Is this like a different spot? Oh no, this is your home, I think, right? No, where am I? Okay. I think I'm supposed to have a map. Okay, there we go. Alright. This game is complex.